So right now we are going to talk about factoring special polynomial forms, okay? So the first one that we're going to explore in this video is the difference of squares. So just like the name implies, it says you have two squares. So you have u squared minus v squared. I could have called it a squared minus b squared either. They just represent some variables. So it says when you have a perfect square subtracted, so when you have the subtraction between two perfect squares, this right here factors out to be u plus v times u minus v. Okay, so how do you do this? So let me do a quick example. The way that you would do this, so let's say you have 9x squared minus 4. You want to say, is this a perfect squared? How could I rewrite this as a perfect squared? 9 is a perfect squared, x is a perfect squared, and 4 is a perfect squared. So I'm going to say, okay, what makes 9 a perfect squared? 3. What makes x squared a perfect squared? X. So I'm going to rewrite this as something squared minus something else squared. And this, what makes 4 a perfect square is 2. See, now what you know is that this, what's inside right here is your u, and this is your v. So now when you factor this out, so 9x squared minus 4 is factors out to be 3x minus 2, 3x plus 2. So that is it. That's in factored form. Let me do one more example. So let's say you have 36x to the 10th minus 16y to the 4th. I'm making this one a little bit complicated just so you can see this. But any even exponent right here is a perfect square. So this would work. So 36 is a perfect square. X to the 10th is a perfect square. 16 is a perfect square. Y to the 4th is a perfect square. So I'm going to rewrite it so it looks like the formula right here. So I'm going to say, okay, what makes 36 a perfect square? And that would be 6. What makes x to the 10th a perfect square? That's x to the 5th. I'm going to square that. Minus, what makes 16 a perfect square? 4. What makes y to the 4th a perfect square? Y squared. So 4y squared to the second power is the same thing as 16y to the 4th. Now I know that my u is 6x to the 5th and my v is 4y squared. So when you multiply this, when you factor this out, it's going to be 6x to the 5th minus 4y squared times 6x to the 5th plus 4y squared. And that is it. So you factor this. So this is difference of squares. Just to note, the sum of squares cannot be factored. Just remember that. So just don't try to apply the same thing for sum of squares because it will not work out. It's not factorable, the sum of squares.